and welcome to P&B Sport. I'm Evan Sunday. Today we'll be talking about the Premiership what transpired on Wednesday in England. And to do justice to that, we'll have Walter Odige, a sport analyst from Lagos, and also the principal team, a sport analyst as well from Lagos. But so you see that we have so many things in stock for you today and so many talking points in those games. So just sit down, grab your teacup, because P&B Sport start now. Welcome back, and we'll have on board, we'll have the principal team from Lagos. The principal team, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Ego.
And we'll also have Walter Odige, the almighty Odige. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ego.
You know that name speak volume, right, Walter?
What volume?
The name speak volume. Odige speak volume. Of course, you are a Benin boy now. You should know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, of course, but maybe let's
Okay, let's not waste up so much time. Let's dive into the conversation. We have the Premier League. Well, I think we'll have games in the Premier League on Wednesday, and we saw so many things that happened. Let's start with the Arsenal game. Do you think Arsenal has already failed this season, Walter Odige? Because dropping point on Wednesday shows that Liverpool have run away with the title. What do you think, Walter?
the truth of the matter is if there was a season Arsenal was supposed to win the league, but when it's supposed to win the season. Because not because of anything, but because they've been the one finishing second for the past 2 seasons, and also they've been the closest to Manchester City. The excuse for the past 2 seasons has been that they've not won the league because they are challenging a super Manchester City team. So that has been the excuse. So this year there was no super Manchester City team. So it was another team just came from nowhere and took the league away from them. So I think Arsenal, if you ask me, they failed not because they did not win the league, they failed because of who is going to win the league. I think if it was Man City that still won the league this year, I wouldn't have said finishing second isn't bad. But because Liverpool, who has not been in the picture for the past 2 years, are going to win the league this season. So I think Arsenal have had a very bad season. They failed. And why did they fail? That is an important question. I thought they had a terrible summer transfer window because going up at the end of last season, we all knew Arsenal needed 2 first team players to actually oust Manchester City and win the league. You're talking about them needing a striker, then needing another creative midfielder and probably a leader, then they can fix 1 or 2 quick fixes to make the team strong from the bench and all that. So I think they didn't do that in the summer. So they had, for me, a terrible transfer window. I think it was a terrible transfer window. But guess what? They did not lose the Premier League this season because of the summer transfer window. They lost the Premier League this season because of the winter, which is the January transfer window. I cannot believe what I saw from Arsenal. They lost Saka, Bukayo Saka to Inter. They lost Benfica to injury, and the team was flat. And the team needed reinforcement. And this club, in the whole 30 days of January, couldn't find, even if it's a known player, could not find just one player to bring him to reinforce the squad. I think that was disastrous. That's where they lost the league. I think in general they were just 5 points behind Liverpool, which we know 5 points in this league is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. But the Arteta sat back and didn't make any signing. They didn't bring in anybody. It doesn't have to be a world-class signing. It doesn't have to be the best. Like, what am I even saying? For crying out loud, Marcus Rashford was available all through the summer, all through the winter. There were a lot. I can name 10 players, 10 attackers that could have helped Arsenal and propelled them to the league title in January. But they refused to do it. And I think that's when they lost the league in general. They had a disastrous summer window last year, but I think they lost the January transfer window. That's unforgivable.
Well said, Walter. The principal thing, I was on your show on Monday, and we're having similar conversation. And I know we talked about something like, will Arsenal still catch up? Even with they have a game in hand. What if they win that game? Will they still catch up? With this performance, the principal thing, what is your opinion about it?
Well, one thing is for certain. We've seen that Arsenal, first of all, permit me to use this word, they are not a serious club. Now, yeah,
my in-law is an Arsenal fan, though. You don't want us to talk about it. That day that I was talking to you that day, I had to lock myself inside the room so that you will not hear.
I think it's very obvious, right? Now, you look at a club that they have a near success syndrome when it comes to the Premier League. Over the past 2 seasons, they've been chasing the league against Manchester City. The first one, it was 9 minutes before they lost it. The second one, which was last season, same story. And now this season, the way we all thought, prior to this season, we all thought, okay, Man City was Arsenal's problem. That once Man City is gone, Arsenal is definitely going to win the Premier League title. And let's say nature decided to grant the request of people that have been praying for Man City's downfall. Now Man City has the downfall, and yet where is Arsenal? They are still behind. And in fact, 13 points clear away from Liverpool that struggled, come on. Liverpool were struggling before Ancelotti came, and now look at where they are. So, first of all, I would say that the league title is almost gone. Well, just to give us a little bit of statistics, the last time that a team came from behind to win the Premier League after being 13 points, behind number one was back in 1997, 1998. Although it was Arsenal that did it, but back then they still had about half of the games to play. Unlike now, where we just have about 11 or 10 games.
10 games left,
right?
Just 10 games.
All right. So you look at it, and you wonder, first of all, going to that game against Nottingham Forest. I was wondering what Mikel Arteta's plan. Yes, I know someone would say we need to cut him some slack because of the injuries and all of those things. But I remember emphasizing on this thing that Arsenal needs to get a striker. Now, Arsenal have 7 attackers. 7 attackers without a proper number 9. Now, let's leave the conversation of a number 9. All of your attackers, all of your wingers, out of the 7 they have, all got injured before the January transfer window, and you didn't deem it fit to sign at least one. Now, Raheem Sterling, we all know, is a shadow of himself. Leandro Trossard is as if he selects the days he wants to perform, right? And the young Ethan Nwaneri, even himself, I think he has not really been that lucky. And you look at their last game, that's now right now, they seem to be, it's as if they've concluded among themselves that, you know what, it's gone, we can't win it anymore. And you look at Liverpool, they came into that game against Newcastle with one objective in mind. We are going there to win. And the interesting thing about Liverpool this season, their last 5 games, right, which was a very tough game. In fact, I looked at the fixtures and I said, this would be very, very crucial stage for Liverpool. That if Liverpool should drop points here and Arsenal is able to maintain, their consistency, the title race might just be heating up properly. Only for Arsenal to tell me, no, wisdom, we have other plans. And they let Liverpool go. Liverpool played Everton, Wolves, Aston Villa, Manchester City, and Newcastle. And of all of these, Liverpool was able to win 3 of those games and playing out 2-2 draws against Everton and Aston Villa. But you talk about Arsenal, apart from, destroying Manchester City 5-1, where we all thought, oh, wow, that's a very big one. This should give them the confidence to go. They came to Leicester City. They defeated Leicester 2-0. We're like, come on, let's go Arsenal. Until they came to West Ham United, where we all shocked that, David what's his name now, Graham Potter, defeating Arsenal 1-0. We're like, okay, maybe that's a glitch. Arsenal should try to fight back and still reduce the deficit. And then they went and played a 0-0 draw, giving Liverpool. Liverpool has a game. They played a game more than everyone. Yes, that's what everybody say. But we all know a game in hand is worth nothing if you don't win it.
Yeah.
You understand? So at this stage of the season, I can say that Liverpool is going to win the Premier League title. And before I wrap up, on this conversation, let's look at the next set of fixtures ahead. Liverpool is not going to play any Premier League game in March apart from Southampton, because they have Champions League games now and all of those things for the AFL Cup. So Liverpool is going to play mostly other competitions in March. But for Arsenal would begin with Manchester United this Sunday. And then after United, Arsenal would also go and play against Chelsea. And then after Chelsea, they would play against an informed Fulham side. 3 tough fixtures coming up. I don't think Arsenal is going to escape. Or even if they are to escape, I don't think they're going to have it easy in any of these 3 fixtures. But Liverpool, just playing Southampton, just 1 fixture in next month, and I think definitely they're going to win Southampton. So at this stage, I don't think Arsenal still has a fighting chance.
Okay, talking about, since you brought the conversation about Liverpool, Walter, do you think Newcastle did not meet up to expectation because of their striker that had injury?
My initial response to that question would have been no, but I saw the game, and in the first half, I think I saw 2 chances that Callum Wilson, the striker that was brought into replace I saw 2 chances whereby he flopped his line and he took the ball well over the line.
Because that was a good chance for him to.
Twice, he had this chance twice. So the truth of the matter is, so that will make me change my pick to yes. But like I was talking to I remember immediately that has happened, and the person I was watching the game with made the comment like, Isak would have buried that. So I said, I don't want to come out though. Isak don't play this Man City where they talk 4-0. So football, though, in as much as those tiny details matter, sometimes it's not just a day. I don't think Newcastle were affected by the miss of Isak. I think if Isak were to play that game, Liverpool would have gotten a maximum 3 points. Maybe it would have been tougher, because I'm not going to lie, Isak in those situations where Wilson found himself during the game, I think Isak would have buried 1 or 2 of those chances. But it's football, injury is part of the game. But now the most important thing is they will be praying that they get Isak back ahead of the final, the Carabao Cup final, because I think that would be more important to Newcastle than that Wednesday game.
Walter, let me stick with you. With the performance of Mohamed Salah this season, do you see him as a top contender for not even the African Player of the Year, the Ballon d'Or? Do you see him as a top contender for that?
For me, he's my number 1 right now. If I'm being honest, he's the best player in the world right now. What Mo Salah has done this season is special. It's incredible. It's out of this world. 42 goals with about 9-10 games left to play. That is something that you can dream of. I think the record for the highest goal contribution in the league season is 48. Salah is on 42 goals and assists. 42 goals and assists already. So he has, I think he has 10 games or 9 games more to score or assist and break that record. And who can stop Mo Salah at this moment? He's either scoring or assisting or doing both game out. He's been phenomenal. Like he is the best individual performance we've seen in the Premier League. You can argue it, but the stats say so. And I think for me, he's my current number 1 for the Ballon d'Or. Not just like the African Player of the Year, he has it already. Except Egypt did fumble very, very well at the AFCON. But if the award is to be given before the AFCON, Salah has that on the bag already. So now it's the Ballon d'Or. So it depends on Liverpool. and they go all the way in the Champions League. I think a Liverpool UEFA Champions League final appearance, not just winning it, if they can get to the final, I think it's going to be the huge favorite for this year's Ballon d'Or.
Okay, well, so let me go back over to wisdom. The principal thing, let me have your opinion about this briefly before we go to the next story.
Well, yeah, definitely. Salah has to be in the conversation for, in fact, almost all the individual awards you can think of. Because right now, he's the only stand-up performer, not just in Europe alone, but in the entire world. Statistics speaks for it. He got to a stage where the comparison was between himself and Rafinha. But right now, we all know that he's, clear ahead of Barcelona's Rafinha. You look at the stats that he's pulling for a player in his 30s. Very, very impressive. And just my only worry is about the success in the Champions League. Now we know the Real Madrid PR, would really go along of Vinicius Junior and the likes. If Madrid was to win the Champions League, definitely the Ballon d'Or would be going to a Real Madrid player, right? So the only thing that can, make Salah win the Ballon d'Or is the Champions League. I feel like that is the only thing. At this stage, we can say the Premier League title is secured. So let's say the Premier League is almost guaranteed. With the Premier League title alone, Salah can win, African Player of the Year. In fact, for me personally, I would hand it over to him right now. African Player of the Year is ended. But talking about the Ballon d'Or, I think the Champions League would be very crucial, for him to decide that.
Okay, perfect. Let's move. Okay, before I even go there, there's this conversation that came out this week. I think early this week or so, when Jamie Carragher was saying he was talking down of the AFCON, that is a smaller championship and stuff like that. Walter, please, in 2 seconds, in 1 minute, can you just give us an insight to that?
Okay, there was a conversation on after the game, after the Liverpool Manchester City game, talking about Salah's chances of winning the Ballon d'Or this year. Then Carragher said, if Salah was playing in a major tournament or by winning, referencing to the Euros and the Copa America, he would have had better chances of winning the Ballon d'Or. And Sturridge, I think Daniel Sturridge and Matovic has been in the studio, and they have to remind him that he plays in the AFCON. The AFCON is also a tournament,
exactly,
of which Carragher disagreed and said no, that AFCON is not a major tournament. I think Carragher's point was, when you want to vote for the Ballon d'Or winner, you will not put the AFCON into cognizance. Like you'll not be thinking that, oh, he won the AFCON, so let's give him a point or let's give him a mark for that. But the way he passed the message, it was really, he was looking down on the AFCON, and I think he has gotten what he deserved this week with a lot of
reactions from people, yeah.
And they become top, and he actually even put out a statement on Twitter this week to say, okay, no, this is what I was trying to say, but that's not the essence. The thing the matter is, Africa is the most populated continent in the world, and the AFCON is one of the most difficult tournaments to play. So you cannot just underplay and underscore the AFCON. It's a major tournament. Is it bigger than the Euros? Is it bigger than Copa America? Is it up to the level of the World Cup? Maybe no, maybe yes. But it is a major tournament. And I think if Salah was to do well in the AFCON, definitely he should have a bearing in who gets the Ballon d'Or.
Fine. The principal thing, let me bring back this conversation to you because I know you want to talk about it. If they are looking down on AFCON that have up to 50, we have up to 53 nations now in Africa, isn't it? Assuming I'm correct. How can you look down on such a tournament that have up to 52 nations that are playing in it?
Well, I think first of all, let me sound. I don't want to use the word like an advocate for Jimmy Carragher, but one thing is the problem is always back home here with us in Africa. We don't really do the necessary PR that needs to be done to promote the AFCON. Look at the Copa America. Honestly, I have to tell you, the Copa America is not even in the level of AFCON. There's not even close to half of it, right? But the PR around it. Even the timing of the game, they play the game more during the middle of the night, and yet it gets more PR. People are more aware of everything when compared to the AFCON. You understand? So, and I think that is where it all starts from. And another thing too is the disrespect African players get. African players, look at the Ademola Lookman's case, right? If it was an European player, the manager wouldn't even try something like that.
True.
You understand? So look at Victor Osimhen's case as well. And you look at, even before Lookman won the African Player of the Year, Brahim Diaz, that hasn't played up to 6 months in Africa, was in the conversation of contending with him for that same award. But it shows you that, first of all, we ourselves don't. Okay, should I amaze you? Do you know that even during the Ademola Lookman's case, some Nigerians, were actually in support of Lookman's manager for bashing him? And I was so pissed, and I was like, how can we even be, saying things like that? And yes, you want these people to actually take us serious. The manager was wrong every sense of it, and yet you, as a fellow Nigerian, are supporting him, saying Lookman shouldn't have taken the penalty. But Lookman said it was the captain or the penalty taker that told him to take it. But you didn't want to look at that side. You just open your mouth to say things. So first of all, the problem is with us. Yes, Jimmy Carragher, just like what I explained, didn't actually mean it that way, right? But the message was misinterpreted. And the reason why it was misinterpreted was because of, first of all, how we ourselves alone as Africans perceive AFCON. I'm sure if we should go out on the street now to do a vox pop or conduct an interview, out of 50 people that would ask between the AFCON, Euros, and Copa America, which one is which one is eye object, I'm sure that at least about 25, about 25 out of 50 people would not really rate AFCON that high. I'm very sure of that. So it first starts from us. Until we ourselves, places AFCON in a very high pedestal, then the whole world is actually going to agree with us.
Perfect. Then okay, and I think we're really having a nice time in the studio, isn't it? The principal thing and Walter. But before we go on a break, let's flip over to Manchester United, because I know you both are Manchester United fans. But do you think what is his name again? Harry Maguire has flourished under Ruben Amorim? Because if you see the goals that he has scored so many, 3 crucial goals in the Europa League, I think in the Premier League, and also this last game that they played on Wednesday. Let me start with the principal thing before I go to Walter.
Well, yes, I think it's definitely clear. Yeah, United haven't really played, to their best potential since Amorim took over. But there've been one or two bright positives from Ruben Amorim's regime. First of all, the most obvious one was Amad Diallo, until he picked up injury. You look at the youngster that was also signed, Lenny Yoro. He has also picked up form and is starting to improve in his performances. You look at Manuel Ugarte. He's also playing like the player we know him to be. Even new signing Patrick Dogu, who has Nigerian affiliations, seemed to be doing well after his first 2 games, apart from the red card in the last. But you talk about Harry Maguire, I think I would not really say I am surprised that he is performing this well. Harry Maguire is used to a back 3 system. In fact, that is when he's most effective, when he's playing with a back 3. Especially, and he excelled very well under Gareth Southgate in England, the back 3 system. That was what really brought out his best quality, as a centre back. And he's more like, I think Harry Maguire is a very free, centre back when he plays in that back 3, where he's able to position himself at the centre. He has a better view of everything ahead of him. He's able to, give you all of those, curvy passes. And then when it comes to attack, he knows how to position himself very well. But that is one quality. But I don't think even the likes of Van Dijk and Co. I don't think that is something they have. Probably, let's say Gabriel of Arsenal. Maybe you can also see he has that. So I think yet I'm not really surprised that he has excelled this much, but kudos as well has to go to Ruben Amorim, but especially to Harry Maguire, who for the past 2-3 seasons was going through hell before until now that he's turned everything around. So I'm very impressed with Harry Maguire, and that is why United had to renew his contract. He was left, and we all thought he was going to be United, but I think it's a very crucial, piece of the puzzle to Ruben Amorim's plan. And for those that are not aware, Harry Maguire is still a Manchester United captain. So in the pecking order of the captaincy, it is Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes as the first choice captain. Lisandro Martinez is the second choice. Casemiro is third. Then Harry Maguire is fourth. So when neither of these three players are on the pitch, Harry Maguire still wears the captain number. It shows you the kind of value that United have placed on him.
Perfect. Walter, please, can I have your thought on this?
The question of, I won't lie, I don't have energy to be discussing Manchester United issues or Manchester United views, because it's very inspiring to do so these days. So, but Harry Maguire, I am an advocate of there is no bad footballer. As a footballer, you are as good as your coach, you are as good as your teammates. The Foden, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, that we've been hyping all these years. Look at Manchester City this season. Those players are all recognizable. They are back to being bang average players. Like, they look like ordinary players. These were players we thought were God, or they were perfectionists, or they were the best players in the world. But now that the City team is struggling, you can see that these individual units are struggling. So that's how I see football. You are as good as your teammates. You are as good as the team performance. Once the team is playing well, individual will begin to play well. Look at Anthony at Real Betis. Look at it's just football. Is what we've seen. We've seen a lot of players leave Manchester United and go on to do well. So, like I will always say, football is not about one person. But now back to your question, yeah, I think Maguire has he's sort of picked a very good form. Picked a very good form under Ruben Amorim, and like it was also pointed out by the former speaker. It's down to him being playing three at the back. That was where Maguire was playing at Leicester before he came to Manchester United. He was at three at the back. That was when United saw him. I was like, oh, this guy is good. Let's go pay 80 million for this player. You film me, and now you're playing him at two at the back. But that's not an excuse. 80 million defender to be able to play any years he's been asked to play. We saw him. I don't think Maguire has ever had a bad game for England. Where does he play? Three at the back. So I'm not surprised he's performing at a better level or at a higher level under Amorim, because Amorim is playing three at the back, which favors him. But still in that, regardless, the way the team has been too bad, the team has been too poor. I think they won just 3 out of Amorim's 17 games in charge in the Premier League. So I think the team has been too bad to say an individual player is playing well, because I don't know, watching United. But like you said, he has come up, he's done his own part, but it's a team game. You cannot be 14. Manchester United Football Club cannot be 14 after match 28. And the single out of player for praise. No, all of them, I think it's not their fault though, it's the team. It's the team. Once the head is not correct, the body suffers. So that's what is happening right now with Manchester United. But hopefully next season Amorim can bring in 1 or 2 players, and the club can get back to being what they used to be before.
Okay, perfect, Walter. Let's go on a short break. But when we're back, we'll be talking about the National Sport Festival that just finished today, rather, because some zones round up today. So we're talking about the National Sport Festival 2025. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the P&B Sport right here in Abuja, and we'll be talking about the premiership since we started this show. But now we'll be talking about the National Sport Festival 2025. Walter Odige, you know, I brought this conversation I think 2 weeks ago when they were preparing to start it on 23rd. Yes, 23rd of this month, and we've seen other zones have played, and we have teams have qualified to the next stage, which is the national stage that's supposed to play in Ogun. Ogun is hosting the nationals. But so far so good, Walter. Before I get to the principal thing, Walter, so good. Do you think the National Sports Festival have met his potential? The reason why this whole thing is created, I think they said before now they were saying it's a local Olympics, right? So do you think it has actually met his potential, Mr. Walter? Are you there, Walter? Okay, the principal thing, are you there? If Walter is not there, maybe you take it.
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, the National Sports Festival, in a way, to be honest, I would say it's kind of died down. It's kind of died down because, in fact, so many people are no longer aware. You know, there's one thing I like to do to more like my own method of doing research. You know, going out to inquire from people on the streets. And I'm sure if we go right now to do that, we're definitely not going to find, you know, a reasonable number of people that knows about the National Sports Festival. It shows you that it's lost its value, it's lost its awareness, and you know that is more like a problem already. Yeah, so in a way, I think I have to agree with you. And even looking at, you know, the one for supposedly that was supposed to be for 2024, that has been shifted to 2025. That's been postponed twice. It shows you the lack of preparedness, you know, from the National Sports Commission. And you know, things like this are part of the things that make it lose its value because they look so unserious in terms of their preparation, in terms of the coordination, and all of these things.
Okay, Walter, are you there?
Yes, I'm here now.
Okay, so can you give us your own opinion? You had the question, right?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, can you give us your own opinion about this?
The truth of the matter is, really, he was answering. What came to my mind was Canada and the AFCON situation.
Okay.
Yes. Sport is a very important. The only difference between the English Premier League, I'm telling you this for free today, the difference between the English Premier League and the Nigeria Premier League is packaging, it is PR, it is the seriousness being shown by the organizers, it is the way it's being marketed, it is the way it's being packaged and delivered to each audience. The National Sports Festival is going on, like the preliminary round is going on, and not many Nigerians is aware. The only reason I am aware is because I am a journalist. Like, not many Nigerians is aware that there is this thing going on, because now, first of all, we don't even have a sports station in this country. We don't have a sports station, it's not well packaged. I was seeing one game in the northern playoff. The basketball court is what we use at NIJ. Is better than the basketball court.
Why bring NIJ to this conversation, please?
What we use at NIJ is better than, that one was better than what we were using for playoff. So it's the packaging, it's the unseriousness. We need to start taking our things serious. Nobody's going to come and help us. Nobody's going to come and save us. We are the one that is going to help ourselves. Listen, I believe in the new National Sports Commission chairman, Mr. Diko. I'm a huge fan of his. From his time as in the Nigerian league, I felt he did very well. But he needs to implement a lot of things. We need to take our things seriously. We need to take our sport seriously. because that is the only thing we have in this country, the only thing that makes us happy, the only thing that can bring national honor and national pride is sport. So we need to advertise these things more. We need to do more in marketing. We need to do more in packaging and PR. So hopefully, like I said, the main edition, the main tournament proper in Ogun State would be a good success. And we will see development. We will see PR. We will see marketing. We will see stories being written and well packaged to Nigeria. So that's what I would say. We just need to do better. Let's give them the benefit of that. And this was just qualifiers, so the tournament proper needs to be done. We need to see NTA covering the games. We need to see there should be a state. We should be able to, okay, for 2 hours every day we can go to NTA and see these games. We need to see the talent. It's not only people that are there that will not write for us to not read or will not start telling us through social media. We need something. We should be serious. This is Nigeria, for crying out loud. We just need to do better. That's what I can say about it.
Okay. Well said, Walter. The principal, let me go over to you now as we wrap up. Let's go over to you as we wrap up quickly. First, I want to ask you 2 questions. So you just touch it a little bit, then we can now go back to Walter and wrap up. Quickly, the first question I want to ask is, why is it that the synergy between the media and the Sport Commission is not there? Because I think if there is a synergy, I think all these things will be publicized very, very well. That is one. 2, the second question I want to ask is, I saw like Bayelsa State now, sorry to mention the name, they dropped some teams like basketball male. I think maybe because of short of fund or top sport that they, some people will say they are not sure of. But this is something that you are trying to discover talent. It's not a must-win championship. It's just an avenue for you to harvest talent and groom them. And on this show, I remember I was talking to a coach in United States, which he said the difference between Nigeria and the United States is when they see a prospect that is a talent, they harness it and they nurture it down. But Nigeria will discover a talent, but they will just leave it like that. So those 2 questions, I just want you to marry them together. Then let's see how we wrap up. The principal.
All right, yes. So quickly, first question about the National Sports Commission and the media doesn't go well together. Well, honestly, I don't really have a particular answer for that because sometimes it amazes me. When I think about the things, it's as though the National Sports Commission is trying to hide something from the media. Because I don't understand. If it is not that way, then why is the media not getting all of this information? In fact, we are supposed to be the whistle for competition like this. We are supposed to be the one to sell the market. We're supposed to be the one to
amplify those stories, amplify them before you know they're out.
But we are being left out of it, and I'm sure if we go, you trust us journalists. If we go for interviews, we go to extract all of this information. There's a way they answer. It's as though they are trying to be reserved about it, and I'm like, what are you being reserved for? This is a chance for us to announce, ourselves to the world. Let's do our job. And the Nigerian media is a very strong one. Nigeria now, anything we saw for Nigeria, do you understand? Sure. Right? And that is something that we are not actually using very well. I don't know why the National Sports Commission chooses to be like that. Not just the National Sports Commission, different sporting bodies in Nigeria, even for the MPFL, for the basketball as well, for every other competition. There's no synergy in the media, and this, sporting, associations, because if there is, it would have really, really helped a long way. So honestly, I can't give you a direct answer as to why that synergy is not there. But one thing is for certain, I know the media in our part, the media is doing, everything in our own possible, power to ensure that we get this thing out there. But I think it's high time that these bodies need to open up to us, so that we can, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a win-win situation. And in fact, it will even be to their credit when the publicity is out there and the competition is doing well. So I think it's a win-win for them. And to your second question, quickly help me reiterate the second question, please.
The second question is, why is it that some teams, some states will drop some sports that there's no they are not strong in that area. They are not sure of winning a medal in that sport, and some will say, okay, they don't even have enough money to carry those contingents. Why is it so?
It is so because the government, do not value these competitions. Yes, I'm talking about the states. You don't value this competition. Like for instance, now Kebbi, if I'm not mistaken, Kebbi is not participating in the National Sports Festival. I stand to be corrected, but I don't think they are, and this is due to lack of funds. Now I'm wondering, the whole state government unable to fund how many athletes to participate in national competition? You're telling me there's no money? What do you mean there's no money? All the money that is there, what is it being used for? What is it being used for? How many million or how many hundreds of thousands will you spend, to ensure that these athletes are available, right? And close, like you asked rightly about them saying, okay, we're not going to do certain competitions and all of that. The essence of doing this competition is to bring out this talent. It is to bring out talent, right? There are so many competitions or so many sports that we don't do in Nigeria. It's only football and basketball that we know, right? Or those are the major ones that people are going. Even the basketball itself, it's not really, that strong yet, right? So this is a platform where we can bring out all of these competitions, bring out all of these talents. Because, like I said, when anything that is happening in Nigeria, the whole world has its eyes on it, right? And if these competitions are done well, the international bodies are looking. You look at the MPFL alone, just in this season, so many of our players have gone abroad, just in the MPFL alone. Now imagine if we are able to, up the ante in other aspects. So the states that are saying that, or the reason why they scrapped out some competitions because of they are saying they don't have funds, all of those things. I don't think that's a good enough excuse. That is not a good enough excuse. They have no reason, because this is not something that you wake up today and say you want to do. There's something they call planning. I think it's the sports festival is said every 2-3 years, right?
Yes.
So within 2 years, you can plan for this thing. It makes no sense to me. You have 2 good years to plan for it. I can't even accept any excuse they want to give me, no matter how packaged or how well presented it is. I can't take any excuse. You have time to plan, and you are the government for crying out loud. The government always has money. Government cannot tell me there's no money, right? So I think this is where I draw my curtain.
Well said, Wisdom. We are running out of time. Okay, Walter, shortly, let me give you that at least a minute, please. Can you just talk about the states that don't have money to fund some sports? Just quickly, like in 1 minute, please.
Okay, in 1 minute.
Or you want to talk about the media?
I'll just touch that also.
Okay.
About the state that does not have money to fund sport, the truth of the matter is there's nothing like it is not possible that the state will not have money to fund sport. It's just that they don't see the importance, they don't see the reason. It's like they're telling them, they see it as waste of time. Why should I invest in something that they are looking at it as which will come this one then I will. So something should be every state should have budget to fund to fund their players on various sports for the National Sports Festival every year. It should be part of your plan because it's youth development. It's to enable your youth to be competitive and to bring out the best out of the youth. So I don't believe that there's no horrible. And for the media, the better we realize this is, the earlier we realize it, the better for us in this country. There nothing can be successful as far as sports is concerned without the media. The media is the most important arm of sport because the media will stand as PR, the media will stand as advertisers, the media will stand as marketers, the media will stand as promoters. So the National Sports Festival is coming. There is no way I'm reading that media personnel will be sponsored, their trip will be paid to go. All these things, those incentives are things that need to be put in place because it's the media that will package this tournament and present it to Nigerians. I think they don't see the value, money needs to be spent on the media. Not now, when I say money needs to be spent on, it's not like you bring 2-3 selected people and enable them with cash and say you've done something for the media. No. The ordinary guy, the guy on Twitter, the guy on Facebook, the guy on TikTok that is doing media work and is doing coverage for little competitions. You need to enable these guys. You need to show them that, oh, we know what you're doing, we want to support you, we will support you with this, come and cover this tournament for us. So that's how it's being done. We have a long way to go in this country and hopefully we'll get there.
Thank you so much, Walter, and the principal team. And I want to thank you so much for your great analysis as always on this show. You do have a nice day ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's the start of our show this morning. I'm Abel Sunday from me and the entire team right here in Abuja. I say goodbye.